All right, hello everyone. How are we doing? Um, this is not just a music stream. I will actually be talking. But hello, hi dog and Peony and Kier and Sari and Peony and dog and Steve and Saribot and Steve and Kier. Hello. How are we doing? I hope we're doing well. I will be playing for the first time ever Undertale without really knowing too much about how the story goes. I know that there's a skeleton, that there's a flower, a sentient flower of some kind. There's a kid. And then there's a line in the game somewhere that is like something, it's still you, or after all this time, it's still you, or something like that. And that is all I know. Everybody seems to really love the game. Everyone that I've heard talk about it talks about it in glowing terms, and I'm excited. I'm a little bit scared that I won't do things correctly, because apparently there's an ending that is not as good. Hi Mal, I love you. I hope you're doing well. And you know me, I either do the right thing the first time and I make the correct choice, or I fuck up everything in my path until I've killed Luther 18 times. Guarantee you won't accidentally get that ending. Okay, that is reassuring. It's too warm. I am melting. I am so sorry. Yes, please, as Kier has warned and pinned at the top of the chat, please don't backseat. I may ask, like, someone, like one of my mod squad, to answer a question, because I trust them to not just tell me outright, but more to give me a hint, probably. But please don't backseat. Yeah, you will be smited. Smote. You will know the wrath of God, and that God is Kiersey. Good for you and me. I can't backseat because I never played or watched this game ever. Oh, okay, so we're going into this together, apparently. I'm not normally a paladin, but I am today. How long is Undertale, by the way? Like, how long is the main story? Because I don't know if this is going to take, like, a day, two, a while to get through. I don't feel like it's too long. Full story is like 7 hours, I think. Oh, okay, so it's gonna be like 10 hours or so. But the good thing is that now that I'm not playing a game, the story game on GeForce Now, I don't have to kind of like work around the internet being slow. So I could technically play this on a Friday when I don't know exactly what to play, and I leave it up to a poll or something. So I could play this. I could continue playing this later on in the week. I mainly, really and truly, I mainly sat down and thought Tuesday and Wednesday for my story game days, because I was playing Alan Wake 2 on GeForce Now. And I realized that when everyone was home later on in the week, it was too slow to stream and have it actually load textures and all of that, so... Never played or watched it either. Okay. So I am not the only one that hasn't played this game. However, I am one of the few that hasn't. But yeah, I've heard a lot of people talk about it. I've seen like stuff about it on like Tumblr and all of that. I know D-Tune has always, he apparently played it pretty early in his, like, Twitch time, and the community still talks about it. So I'm excited. I'm excited. This is also the good thing about streaming and like specifically trying to stream story games, because it will actually force me to actually play new story games. Hi, Steffi. I love you. I've been doing well. Love it. I believe I will. Really and truly, there are very few games out there that I finish and I go, well, that was an awful time. I'm sad that I spent time on this, because usually that is just a game that I look at and I go, I'm not going to enjoy this, and then I don't buy it. The thing about me is that I cannot backseat anything because I am bad at completing games, and honestly, I respect that. I respect that for you. It's such a coincidence today. I was getting ready, and as I was about to leave to go to my nightmare grocery shopping, dog saved me and asked to go with me, so I was not even slightly overwhelmed and anxious. Let's go. That's some good homie support there. My thing is that I so rarely want to backseat when I watch someone play a game, because I like the experience of watching someone figure something out. I know that sometimes it can be a little bit painful because like the answer is like right there and the person playing just hasn't seen it yet. And you know that it's there, and other people that have played the game know that it's there, but the other person, the person that's playing, is just like, why are you playing this song again? I know it's because you're on shuffle, but come on. Anyway, it bothers me when it plays the starting song again. Don't ask me why, it just does. Yeah, I know that it can be a little bit painful sometimes when you like know that the answer is like right there. And like if I'm stuck, then like people who don't know, who want to like maybe help me like troubleshoot something. I think it's funny because I didn't have this discussion when I was playing Alan Wake 2. I didn't have this backseating discussion because no one else knew what the fuck was going on either. Nobody had a clue what was going on. And even like while things were going on, except for like Sari helped me do stuff a couple of times. But no one really knew what the fuck was going on. And even Sari, I assume, didn't actually know and was just like, hey, have you tried shooting him? And I was like, no, I haven't, because I didn't think that would work. It is PTB day. I am screaming with my own self. Yeah. You know, I don't play DBD very much anymore, but I am surprised. I am surprised that they're getting Lara Croft. Obviously, Lara Croft is an incredibly, like, iconic person in video games, in movies. I'm just a little bit surprised to see her in Dead by Daylight. I also love Lara Croft. I played a couple of like the really, really old Lara Croft games. I would always play to a point and then I would get stuck because I was just a kid and I didn't know what was going on. or like I didn't know how to work through some puzzles sometimes. I have played so much of the first reboot or the remake. I played through the second game once, and throughout that entire game I was so fucking scared of Jonah? Is the guy's name Jonah? Dying. So I left that game with just like, I was just too full of nerves. I was so scared of him dying because the guy in the first game died, and that really was upsetting for me. And then I played through the second game and I was just like nervous the entire time. Hi Sophie, I love you. I'm doing well. Those early games continue to be hard as an adult. Okay, well at least I wasn't just too stupid as a little kid. Yeah, there's also an update to Phasmophobia, which is gonna be interesting. I'm probably gonna have to play on a day with Sari, and we're probably gonna play some Phasmophobia at some point. After I upgrade my PC, hopefully, because this computer never really liked streaming Phasmophobia. It's too many textures and it gets scared. Got butted. Yep. Oldest memory I have of Lara Croft are the PS3 games, and I was dumb as fuck, so I never finished those. Yeah, I would play like this one that someone like someone got me this game, and I would play it, but I would mainly play like the very beginning when you were still in like the manor and you have like the obstacle course. That was so fun to me. I would just play in the little obstacle course and like jump and spin and climb things. Yeah, and the new chapter for A Little to the Left is also out, and there's like a new thing by the people that made Behind the Frame that is coming out next month. There's so many like little games and things coming out, and like updates and stuff. I still have not updated Dead by Daylight from the last update that popped up, so I might try to download the PTB just in case Steve like wants to test out something at some point later tonight, unless somebody else does it first and then they can do it. I just like to be available just in case Steve wants to test things out. Because I know that sometimes you want to test stuff, especially if you're streaming it. You want to test like new stuff, and I like to be helpful. Only knew one with a burning house and another with an ocean or something, and that's it. Yeah. But yeah, there's a lot happening. And I'm looking forward to seeing Lara Croft in DBD. I do love Lara Croft. She's very cool. I especially like the rebooted version of her because, like, as much as iconic as the old games were, they were very, she was very sexualized. She was and I don't think very many women worked on the game, and that makes me feel a little bit icky. But at least in the reboots, she's actually wearing like normal clothes and stuff that makes sense. I did sit down and watch Crazy Cat play through the Tomb Raider games, which was a lot of fun, the reboots. And that made me think about how I wanted to play them on stream as well, because I loved the first reboot, and I don't think I've played the third reboot. I always meant to play it. I think I own it on Steam because it was on sale at some point, and I bought it, but I still haven't played it. And I probably should. I have received a gift. Sophie, what did you do? Thank you for buying me the little to the left DLC. I appreciate that. Sophie's just out here. Like, I still haven't spent any of the money that you gave me on the gift card. Sophie's just out here being like, you have lots of games to play and you're excited for more games? Here you go. Here is this game. And I'm like, oh. Thank you, Sophie. I appreciate that. I may have to play a little to the left on stream again, which you know me, I'm bad at puzzles. I believe one of the last puzzles I did of a little to the left on stream was that one where I had to put like the crayons or the colored pencils or something in like order of like the colors, and I am bad at color theory. Sophie is simply the sweetest. She really is. So very, very kind. Absolutely not necessary, but I really do appreciate it. A couple of years ago, when Uncharted 4 came out, it was announced as the last Uncharted game. I was so devastated and searched for similar games and saw Tomb Raider and really wanted to get it, but I forgot. You should. The Tomb Raider games are very similar to Uncharted. Lots of exploring, lots of finding little trinkets, lots of fighting as well. They are quite similar. Of course, without Nate's, you know, just bullshit. Lara Croft is a bit more focused, I'd say. A little bit more serious. I was buying it for myself too. Yeah, I knew that it was coming out. I just didn't know when exactly. I was gonna keep an eye on it. But yeah, lots of cool stuff happening. I have so many games to play. I have to play through the Dragon Age games before Dragon Age Veilguard comes out later this year. Still need to finish Spiritfarer. I need to play the Uncharted games. I need to play Red Dead Redemption 2. I still need to play Hades for Testier. I keep meaning to message Testier and be like, hey, when would you like me to play Hades? And then I forget. I was looking at the Phasmo update just now and got jump scared. Sounds like a good time, honestly. I feel like the new map update has been like a long time coming. Because wasn't there like a whole event where we like had to find the letters and stuff? Wasn't that like last year? And I know that it's a very small team working on Phas. I know it's like an indie game. There are very few people working on it, so it makes sense that it took them a while to get it ready, but it has been like a while. I feel like I played like a little bit of it not too long ago, and I saw that like the blacklight lettering was still on the ground, and I was like, wow, that's still okay. That's still here. I thought that it was gonna be like a short-term event kind of thing to like tease, and then it would go back, but that no, it just stayed. A Discord chat dedicated to that event. It's been a long time, but it's finally here, and it's very exciting. Yeah, we used to play a lot. Me and the fruits. We used to play quite a bit of Faz. It was our obsession game for a little bit. And then I think we kind of like, we may have like burned ourselves out on it a little bit. And got a little bit tired of it because it's like, we would usually go to the same couple of maps. Because the school one is just fucking huge. The school and the prison maps were just too big. There's too much going on. Hi Lurk, I love you. I hope you're doing well. Today we're probably going to be playing Undertale. However, right now I'm still yapping. I love you. I hope you're doing well. Huge cactus. I have to actually type it in because my stream deck is not working with me. Because we wanted to get to level 1k before the prestige update. Yeah, that's true. And then like Kier was like, yeah, it's not gonna happen for me. I'm just gonna get carried by you guys. And we were like, yeah. I hope you're doing well today, Lurk. I believe I got to 1k before the update. However, it's been a while and I don't remember. Yeah, we're gonna be playing Undertale today, which is a long-awaited something for Kiersey, because Kiersey was the one that was like, hey, you should play Undertale so that I can watch someone experience it for the first time. And I was like, okay. And then like a couple of months later, she was like, hey, what if you played Undertale? And I was like, I will. Like, I will. And then... and then... it was my birthday, and Kier was like, hey, I'm gonna get you a gift. It's Undertale on Steam. Here you go. You should definitely play this game. And I was like, okay, I will. It's on my list. It definitely will be played. And then after I finish, tell me why. And I was like, man, I gotta finish Alan Wake 2. I gotta finish Spiritfarer. I gotta finish Breath of the Wild. Kiersey redeemed the like choose my game redeem thing and was like, actually, what if, and hear me out, you played Undertale? And I was like, I will. I definitely will. I just need to finish Alan Wake 2 so I can stop playing for GeForce Now. Yeah, Kier will smite anybody that tries to backseat. Yeah, standing in the dark corner like, you better fucking play it. You better fucking play it. I am watching you, motherfucker. And I'm like, I will play it. I will. And then I was like thinking up incentives for this. And I have like a channel in our like Fruits shared Discord between like Kier, Sari, Anna, and me. And I was like making a list of like things I wanted to do. And Kier was like, hey, hear me out. What if you fucking played Undertale? And so that's why one of them is Undertale or Death. Because if I didn't play it soon, Kier would kill me in Minecraft. Yeah, I'm gonna be reading The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings. It's gonna be a bit of an undertaking, because not only is there just like a lot of words in Tolkien's books, but also The Hobbit, plus 3 gigantic books for The Lord of the Rings. But we will be doing it. It will be happening. I listened to all of the Lord of the Rings audiobooks while I was playing Borderlands at some point, like a couple of years ago. It was a very, very, very good series. But while I was thinking of incentives and stuff, I was going to the theater to watch the Lord of the Rings extended edition that some company or other was doing a big showing of all of the movies and everything. So it was on my brain. I was thinking about the Lord of the Rings and how much I loved it. And it's really funny. Okay, like on the subject of Lord of the Rings, all right? It is so funny to me that there are so many gender funky things that I thought when I was younger that I just never really like thought about too much. And then now looking back on it, I think, wow, that was really not a cis thing to think, my dude. Because I loved Aragorn and Arwen, okay? I loved them. I loved their story. Beautiful, breathtaking. Also, Aragorn is just really pretty, and so is Arwen. But my thing is that when I was younger, I always kind of wanted someone to give me the necklace from the movies. I thought that that would have been like really, really cute, right? The thing that I didn't think about at the time that I was thinking, wow, I wish somebody would give me the necklace like Arwen gives Aragorn, is the fact that it's Arwen that gives it to Aragorn. I wanted to be Aragorn in this situation. And that did not dawn on me until I was just watching the movie like a couple of weeks ago. And then I was like, man, wow, I always loved them. And then I was like, well. Hi, Syrup. I love you. I hope you're doing well. What does it say if I just wanted the necklace for myself? Well, that just means that you just like really pretty jewelry. Specifically pretty nerdy jewelry. I also think it became a core memory for me now that I played Overwatch with you guys both times. Let's go. Overwatch is fun. I should probably like do like an more open lobbies kind of thing where people can join or whatever, but playing with the homies is fun. Anyway, I just was like thinking about that at some point. Like we were like leaving the theater and I like opened up my phone to like message the fruits and I was just like, I was never, not once, cisgender. I just didn't know it yet. I was just not aware. But yeah, we are playing Undertale today. I'm excited because everybody seems to love it. Everybody that's played it loves it. Kiersey is threatening me with a murder in Minecraft over it. It's funny because my I want to be Aragorn turned out to be Liv Tyler is pretty, and I would like to smooch her too. See, and that's what's really funny about like hearing everyone's stories about how they like have realized over time that they are not straight or cis, is that we usually have the same like starting point, and then and then it like changes depending on your experiences and who you turn out to be. Like you're like, I want to kiss both Aragorn and Arwen. Like, why not both? Meanwhile, I'm like, I wanted to be Aragorn and didn't even realize it. It's like, I wanted to be Aragorn to be able to smooch Liv Tyler. I wanted to be Aragorn just because Aragorn is attractive. And gender. Yeah, I've got two hands. I can hold both of their hands in my own. And I feel like that should be a thing, even though I am painfully monogamous. But yeah, I'm gonna be doing like I feel like after I finish Most Ardently, I might like take a small break from like reading a book and do the fan fiction reading stream that I promised during my subathon last year. I still haven't decided what fan fiction I would be reading exactly. The demons in my brain are wanting to embarrass myself by reading you guys the fan fiction that I've written in the past. However, I haven't decided if the embarrassment is going to be worth it. Hydrate. Okay. Nico is not in here, so I will boop her later. Oh, pretty please. Oh no. Oh no. It's like, y'all may or may not know this, but I existed and still exist really, but at a smaller amount. I existed for a very, very long time on Tumblr. I still believe that it's probably one of the best places to get fandom content sometimes. Like, and they've really fucked up their like search engine and everything within Tumblr. And them outlawing not safe for work content was really stupid. But like the Dragon Age Veilguard trailer dropped, and within like 5 minutes people were posting art on Tumblr. And I was like, this is why I like Tumblr still. But I still have like older fanfics that I wrote. Now they're for games that I don't think very many people know very well. Like Mass Effect, Dragon Age. There were some Fallout ones as well. But I don't know. Maybe I will want to embarrass myself and show you guys what I wrote. I have really only posted like one fanfic to Archive of Our Own, which actually still is getting interactions, which I think is funny. But it just depends. It depends on how willing I am to embarrass myself. I wrote a whole ass story that would work on its own if I made it a fanfic. Oh, whoa. I never really went in for like long form fanfics. It was the ones that I wrote were always short. A lot more simpler, a lot easier to get done and finish off in post. I'm very proud of that story, not gonna lie, but I never continued it. Aw. I mean, like, you could now. Just go right back to it years later. But yeah, it just depends on how much I'm willing to embarrass myself. Because otherwise I'm just gonna be like taking requests from from games and stuff that we have played on stream. And then after that, I might jump into The Hobbit. Because The Hobbit's going to be a shorter read than all of the Lord of the Rings. So I'll probably do The Hobbit first. I'm excited for that, however. What is this? Overwatch will turn your children gay. Strong, dominating woman, weak, pathetic man. These are telltale signs of bisexual propaganda. It's true. It's all true. It is very true. I forgot that I still have a Pepsi from lunch. But yeah, I'm a little bit scared to start playing Undertale today. And maybe that's just because I don't want to disappoint anyone who actually like really knows the game by like fucking it up or having the wrong reactions to things. But I'm excited as well. I had an Aussie style lemonade monster earlier. It was so yummy. I can't say I know exactly what that is, but it sounds good. Pepsi is tasty. I was just drinking some water because my dad offered to make breakfast. And so he made like a little bagel sandwich for him and one for me. And then he put probably too much salt in my egg. And it was very salty and I felt like I needed more water to get over it. It has questions. What is that? It's basically just Fanta lemon, but caffeinated and less fizzy. Oh. Interesting. That's right, because you guys' lemonade is carbonated. It tastes more lime-like. Like me? It is interesting how many people, while playing Overwatch, how many people I've seen that have like lemon in their name. And meanwhile, normally they would be my nemesis, my enemy, my beloved. However, sometimes it's really funny because I'll be like, "Ha, hi, no way," and they'll be like, "Citrus Gang," and I'll be like, "Yeah." And I'm like, I will put aside our differences for this game. But only this game. And if I go against you, we will have no more citrus peace. There will be citrus rivalry. And I will try to kill you. I'm still thinking about that video that Anna posted of the Life Weaver life gripping the Reinhardt directly into the hole in the middle of the map. I'm gonna do that one of these days, and I'm gonna do it on purpose. Or at least I'm gonna say that it was on purpose. I have been getting a little bit more like confident with using the life grip ability that Lifeweaver has. I do feel bad when sometimes I try to grab someone that's like critical health, and I try to grab them and get them out of the middle of the fight, and then they like die as I'm trying to do it, and I accidentally life grip someone else who was completely fine, but is now like off of where they were before. Do it accidentally to me again, like the 2 ults you life grip me in the middle of doing. Okay, listen, I'm sorry. That's all I have to say. That's the thing, is that I tried to like gauge how quickly someone's health goes down versus like where they are, how many enemies are around them. And the thing is that when I life gripped you out of your ult just the other day on Sunday, you weren't even like critical health exactly. You were just, your health just went down at a rapid pace because you had like put your shield down. And so and you were like out there by yourself. Everyone else was like in the room. And so I just life gripped you because I was scared that you were like gonna get hit by like everybody on the opposite team all at once while your shield was down. So I just life gripped you, not realizing until I went back to clip it that you were actively like waiting for your ult to like be available. You were like clicking the button to like do it quickly. Oh my god. Could be worse. Could accidentally wall block a teammate to death with Mei. Yeah. I always think it's funny when people try to do that to me as Lifeweaver, but they leave like the just like a little bit of a gap, and then I can just continue throwing heals at people. I don't know what it is with Mei, just like using the wall to like get the tank on their own, but not doing it completely. And so then I'm just healing the tank while the tank is beating the shit out of them. And I'm like, you guys are gonna have to try harder for that one. So I did stay home today because I'm into a sneeze, and I got some pain in my ears. Oh no. And other stuff that is irritating my body. So, but also the heat outside. Yeah. No, that's very fair. Please take care of yourself, Sophie. Make sure that you're drinking lots of water and all of that, especially with how hot it is. Oh my god. But like trying to put up the wall as May and not like timing it right, and then somebody being on top of the wall and then dying immediately because everybody's still shooting at them. Genuinely very funny. I don't know what it is, but it seems like every May I have ever come across on the opposite team, while I'm playing like the quick play, is just fucking cracked. Like why are Mays so cracked? Why are they so good? I have almost been life gripped into danger multiple times this week, and I was like, ah, yeah. Yeah. I did do that to someone. I don't remember who it was. Maybe it was you. But I was like watching the main fight ahead of me, and then like someone came from behind and started shooting at us. And I literally like panic grabbed someone. I was like, hey, get back over here. Get back over here. I'm just a tiny little support. I can't take on this Reaper all by myself. I need your help. I also just like accidentally grab the wrong person all the time. And then I like accidentally, cause like it's like with Life Weaver's thing, it's like a lock-on kind of thing where you have to like have line of sight and not have anybody in the way. So if everybody is like all in a cluster, I have such a hard time managing to grab the right person. I always grab the wrong person. And then it's like Kier or Anna, and you guys are like, oh, okay, well, hi. And I'm like, sorry, I meant to grab the other person. Because I know it can be a little bit jarring when you're just doing your thing and then you get yoinked across the way. Sport is so fun when you don't have randoms harassing you about heals. Yep. What was it the other person with? There was like someone the other night that was complaining. And I was like, dude, I have 5k heals and damage. Like, what do you want from me? A froggy who can climb walls gets grabbed. I know. Sometimes I see just like the critical health thing. And I'm like, you're probably good. Like, jumping along the wall and being really hard to hit, but also if you died right in front of me when I could have grabbed you and brought you to safety over here where I am, I will be very sad. Got my mobile airco on, and I only went out to get drinks from the store and get my meds. Yeah. Everybody make sure that you are drinking some water and taking care of yourself in this heat, because it is absolute ridiculous. Soldier 76 that kept complaining about heals when me and Kier both had like 6k. Yep. Oh yeah, I was watching someone play Overwatch last night and I got the Hanzo skin. And then I promptly put back on my casual the casual skin. And was like, cool. Thank you. However, I was watching someone play Ashe. And they were doing like what's it called? Open queue, but it was open queue comp, which I didn't realize was a thing. So the opposing team had a Doomfist and an Orisa, and I was sitting there just like, what the fuck is going on? And then the other team like got stomped at some point, and then the other team had like 4 tanks and 1 healer. It was a little bit ridiculous. Of course, the person that I decided to watch play comp was just kind of vibing and not really like paying too close attention. Kind of reminded me of how I play Overwatch as it is. He was just better at aiming than me. Doing my daily coloring by number on my drawing tablet now. Let's go. We're probably going to run into ads in the next couple of minutes, and when that happens, I will switch over and we will play Undertale. Which apparently has like a scene that plays when you first open the game. I went to open the game last night just to make sure that it was like set up and the settings were correct, and maybe even switch OBS so that my game capture was on Undertale, and then it started talking immediately and I panicked, closed it. It was like, no, I don't want to miss anything. I don't want to experience anything off stream. So I just closed it and I'm like, I will do my best. We'll have a little race to see how quickly I can add Undertale into my audio. My game audio. So everybody can hear it and not just me. I can do it pretty quickly, I think. But yeah, there are a lot of games that are... Oh yeah, I didn't even tell you guys. My graphics card got here. I was half asleep. The dog started barking. I went to get up to go see what was going on. And then my dad came around the corner and was like, hey, they need a code to be able to drop it off. And I'm like, none of the other things that have been delivered needed me to give the person a code to get the box. So I'm like in my pajamas. I've got the bandana that I use as a sleeping mask around the top of my head, staring at this man in shorts on my porch, just being like, hang on, give me a second. I gotta open up the order on my phone. Yes, the number should be this. And he's like, oh yeah, that worked. Here you go. And I'm like, thanks. Too EP. Too EP. However, I think the other packages were supposed to also wait for like a code and then just didn't. So I think this was the one guy that actually does all of his work. Everything arrived now? No, I'm still waiting for the case. You know, the case, the thing that all of the computer parts sit in, the thing that holds all the computer parts. I'm still missing the case. Why, of all things, the case is the last thing to arrive? I don't know, but it is how things run. It's how things go. When does the case arrive? It should be an end of this week, beginning of next week. So probably over the weekend-ish is probably the best case to guess for. My brother said that you don't always need the case to make sure that you like plug things in and everything runs. So I will probably ask him tonight if we could like make sure that it functions as is. Because I do have like I have everything else except the case and my Windows 11, which I can technically use my copy of Windows 10 for a little bit, but it will probably nag me about getting a new copy, because technically my copy of Windows 10 is on another computer. Yeah, it's just to protect and have it like stationary. Have you ever seen like somebody's PC setup and it's just like duct tape? Because apparently you can do that. It's not very smart because it doesn't keep it safe. But yeah, so we have like graphics card, CPU fan, extra fans for the case. I'm using the SSD, I have the motherboard and the power supply, and my RAM, and some thermal paste for between the CPU and the CPU fan, question mark, I think. Yeah, I've got the GeForce RTX 4070 and I'm excited. I'm gonna be able to play Baldur's Gate at not 25 to 30 FPS. It's gonna be great. Case being open to test stuff out, yeah. Worked on a lot of PCs in my teenager years. Yeah, that's fair. My brother has built a lot of PCs in his time. Like, hi kitten mama, I love you, I hope you're doing well. Has built a lot of computers in his time. And I'm definitely, I'd ask for his recommendation for like what parts I should get and if they work together and all of that. And he is also going to help me put it together. Ads. ads should be done. I know they can lag behind just a little bit, but Kitten Mama, thank you so much for the donation through coffee. I appreciate that. You guys have been so very kind to me. What color paw would you like? This page is gonna be blank, but what color paw would you like? I need to add it to the overall progress. Another calico. That's right. You said your calico. That makes sense. Let me put this on here. Another calico. Everybody seems to love the calico, which is very fair. Very pretty cats. Okay. I'm gonna switch to my display scene really quickly. No more 69%. No. Sophie and Peony also donated last night. And so we have lost the 69%, but I appreciate it. I really do. Apparently there's like a thing that plays before like the menu shows up, so I'm going to be on display. I'm going to open it and then try to add in the audio as quickly as possible. Hang on, let me add in this here. So then I can do it quickly. But thank you. I really do appreciate it. I wondered if anybody would I wondered if anybody would because it was at 69%. I was like, this is too perfect of a number. And then Sophie and Peony last night were like, we're gonna do it anyway. And I was like, okay. We are launching Undertale. Oh, God. Here we go. I've missed everything that's been said. After a long battle, the humans... Okay. They sealed the monsters underground with a magic spell. Many years later... Mount Ebot? Legends say that those who climb the mountain never return. Can't full screen this. Trip and fall. Yes, go do everything you gotta do. Kitten Mama, thank you again for the donation. Get everything done. I believe in you. You got this. Cow butt. Press 2 or enter. Oh. Oh, okay. So what? Huh? I just closed it accidentally. What the fuck? Is it always tiny like that? Wait a second. Okay, okay. We're watching this again. Press F4. Okay. Hi, Ash, I love you. Your background, I know what you are. We already watched this, but we'll watch it again. they trip very dramatically. It's kind of a cat jam, though, I will say. What a wholesome intro. I bet the whole game will be like this. I hope so, too. Somebody that doesn't like too much icons. Yes, that is also true. Also gay. But that is also true. I don't like very many. Why 2? Z or enter, confirm. X or shift cancel. C or control menu. F4, full screen. Gotcha. Hold escape, quit. When HP is 0, you lose. Uh-oh. Okay, let me fix this. We go here. Oh, I don't have the auto tube open. Oh, that's awkward. Fix this so that it captures. I'm cat. Pop cat for a second. Okay, hello. All right. I guess we're just going in. Name the fallen human. Why are the letters wiggling? Okay, should I do Mike or should I do Miles? Or Limes? Mike. Mikey. No. That's even worse. Is this name correct? Mike. Yes. Mike. That's me. Oh. Um. Uh. Uh. Um. Did I break it already? I was trying to, Wazda. Oh, it's arrow keys. Oh, it's arrow keys. Why is it arrow keys? Why is it arrow keys? Okay, we're moving the keyboard over so that I can use my dominant hand. Oh, fuck. I just closed the fucking game again. Okay, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. No, it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. We got this. You know, it's the awkwardness of like starting up any game for the first time. You don't use your mouse at all for this game. Okay, but that's where my hands sit though. That's where and then I also use like my left hand to move just all the time. That's what I'm used to doing. I'm gonna open it again. I was trying to move my keyboard and I accidentally held down the escape button. Oh god. It's happening again. Playing through the beginning again. Okay. Oh my god, okay. Apparently I didn't do enough that it... We do this again. Mike. Aha! See there, now I can move. That's a very interesting bed I have there. It's just all of a sudden quiet. Oh! Howdy, I'm Floey. Floey the flower. Let me know how it sounds, by the way, in case it's too loud. You're new to the underground, aren't ya? Golly, you must be so confused. I really am, and I've already been here like once, and then I couldn't move, and then it was arrows, and then my autism started screaming, and you know, you just understand that it's just very weird. I'm gonna turn this down just a little bit. Someone ought to teach you how things work around here. I guess a little old me will have to do. Ready? Here we go. I'm not ready. Oh, I didn't update my category, did I? I was thinking about I was thinking about how I was going to have to do it like in a really weird way. Okay. So we both just changed the category at the same time, and we were holding hands.
This is Benjamin.
Hi, Jay. Benji. I love you. I hope you're doing well. Ready? Here we go. I am not ready. Not one bit, but let's go. See that heart? That is your soul, the very culmination of your being. Your soul starts off weak, but it can grow strong if you gain a lot of level. LV. Oh, love. Okay. What's LV stand for? Why, love, of course. You want some love, don't you? I don't know, do I? Don't worry, I'll share some with you. Down here, love is shared through little white friendliness pellets. Thank you for lurking, Jay. Yes, make sure that you do all the things that you gotta. Thank you for being here. Thank you for lurking. Weird thing to say. Little white friendliness pellets. I don't like the quotation marks. Are you ready? No? Move around. Get as many as you can. I fucking knew it. I knew it. You idiot. In this world, it's kill or be killed. Why would anyone pass up an opportunity like this? Die. The cinnamon toast fuck is happening? What a terrible creature, torturing such a poor, innocent youth. Ah, do not be afraid, my child. I am Toriel, caretaker of the ruins. I pass through this place every day to see if anyone has fallen down. You are the first human to come here in a long time. Come, I will guide you through the catacombs. I don't know what's happening. This way. Okay. I'm just gonna trust you, I guess. Just gonna follow you around and hope that you don't lead me astray. Welcome to your new home, innocent one. Allow me to educate you in the operation of the ruins. The ruins are full of puzzles. Ancient fusions between diversions and dorkies. This is so loud! Hi, Finn. I love you. I've been doing well. Ancient fusions between diversions and dorkies. One must solve them to move from room to room. Please adjust yourself to the sight of them. Okay. Uno reverse. I'm sick one today, but I am just being comfy and vibing. I'm sorry that you're sick, but I'm glad that you're vibing, and I'm glad that you're here. It's very good to see you. I hope you feel better soon. Giving Pokemon chip tunes. I don't know what that is. To make progress here, you will need to trigger several switches. Do not worry, I have labeled the ones you need to flip. What's it say? Press Z to read signs. Oh. What's it say? Stay on the path. Oh. Okay, Gandalf. The final switch is over on the wall. Okay. I don't know what's going on. Go on, press the switch on the left. I don't know my left from my right. What happens if I press this one? Please press this switch too. What? Splendid. I'm proud of you, little one. Let us move to the next room. Oh god. As a human living in the underground, monsters may attack you. You will need to be prepared for this situation. However, worry not. The process is simple. When you encounter a monster, you will enter a fight. While you are in a fight, strike up a friendly conversation. That's just me. This is such an amazing game. Everybody seems to love it. And I'm excited. I'm excited to get into it. I'm a little bit confused, but I've got the spirit. I did accidentally close the game twice, but I feel like we're getting better at it. My autism may be chisming a little bit about using the arrow keys and not WASD. Strike up a friendly conversation. Stall for time. I will come to resolve the conflict. Practice talking to the dummy. I'm not very good at talking to people. You encountered the dummy. I don't know what I'm doing. Talk to the dummy. ... It doesn't seem much for conversation. Toriel seems happy with you. You won. 0 XP and 0 gold. Yeah. Ah, very good. You are very good. I feel like that's not gonna keep me alive. But okay. I will do what you say. There's another puzzle in this room. I wonder if you can solve it. I absolutely, categorically cannot. Frog it? No! Compliment! Frogget didn't understand what you said, but was flattered anyway. She just looks angrily. 0 XP and 0 gold. Let's fucking go. She just comes up behind and she's just like, do you fucking mind? And the frog's like, my bad, and just leaves. What does it say? The western room is the eastern room's blueprint. What? Ah. This is the puzzle, but here, take my hand for a moment. Puzzles seem a little too dangerous for now. Oh. She said, you seem a little stupid. We're not gonna do puzzles just yet. Then you know what? She's right. You have done excellently thus far, my child. However, I have a difficult request to ask of you. I would like you to walk to the end of the room by yourself. Forgive me for this. What? Huh? Hey! Hey, wait a second! Hey, wait a second! Hey, hang on! I'm just staying on the path here. What the fuck? Why does she move so fast? I don't know what's going on. I just got here. Jesus Christ. Greetings, my child. Do not worry, I did not leave you. Buying brain pills with no insurance. Oh no. I was merely behind this pillar the whole time. Thank you for trusting me. However, there was an important reason for this exercise. To test your independence. The way that I was just yelling for help the entire time, I was like, hey, wait, hang on. I must attend to some business, and you must stay alone for a while. Please remain here. It's dangerous to explore by yourself. I have an idea. I will give you a cell phone. If you have a need for anything, just call. Be good, alright? Can I play games on this phone? How come I can't get behind this pillar? I wanna get behind the pillar. Ring. Hello, this is Toriel. You have not left the room, have you? No! No, I would never do that. I definitely did not get bored within 5 seconds and leave. I don't know what you mean. I was like, wow, there's nothing happening here. Let's go to the next room. There are a few puzzles yet ahead of you that I have yet to explain. It would be dangerous to try and solve them yourself. Be good, alright? Click. I'm bored. I want to see what's going on, though. Oh fuck. Rocket hopped close. Rocket. Attack 4, defense 5. Life is difficult for this enemy. Oh. That's kind of sad. Hop, hop. Ow. The battlefield is filled with the smell of mustard seed. What? Rocket didn't understand what you said, but was flattered anyway. Blushes deeply. What? Rocket seems reluctant to fight you. Wait, how do I go back? I don't know how to go back. Can I just compliment them again? Gonna get hit again, aren't I? Oh fuck. Oh shit. How do I... Z? Why are these buttons so fucking weird? Oh, I'm continuing to get... Z just confirmed what I was looking at. I'm gonna die. I don't understand how this menu works. Oh. Spare or flee? 0 XP and 2 gold, and I'm at 4 health because I didn't know how the menu worked. Oh, what the fuck? Okay. Can I leave? Can I? Okay. Well, what is this red stuff? What is that? Playful crinkling through the leaves fills you with determination. HP fully restored. Oh! Oh, I can save! Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm very confused by this game, but we'll learn as we go. Oh, what's this? It says take one. Take a piece of candy. You decide not to take some. I don't know what that is. Oh fuck. A Whimsun? What the fuck are you? Approached meekly. Wait, what's that green bar? I don't know. No. Oh my god, I pressed the wrong thing. What the fuck are the controls on this game? Oh my god. X or shift is cancel? Okay. A check. Attack 5, defense 0. This monster is too sensitive to fight. Oh, ah! It's starting to smell like lavender and mothballs. Okay. Halfway through your first word, Whimsun bursts into tears and runs away. Oh! Oh! Aww. I don't. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I was like, that seems like a weird thing. Oh. Oh, fuck. Can you talk to the froggy in the past room? I don't know. I did not. I probably could go back and see. I got scared of fighting them, and then I walked past them. Too sensitive to fight. Forgive me. Aw. Okay. Continues to mutter apologies. Bursts in tears and runs away. Okay. Okay. So hang on. Let's go see if we can talk to the frog. Hello. Oh. Frog get hopped close. Attack 4, defense 5. Life is difficult for this enemy. Oh, Jesus Christ. Doesn't seem to know why it's here. Me neither, bro. Didn't understand what you said, but was flattered anyway. Blushes deeply. Ah, I did it! Okay. Can I... Hey, I got 2 gold. Let's go. You're gonna fight right before you got to the frog. Oh. I thought that was talking to the frog. Hey, what's up, bro? Ribbit. Excuse me, human. I have some advice for you about battling monsters. Oh! If you act a certain way or fight until you almost defeat them, they might not want to battle you anymore. If a monster does not want to fight you, please use some mercy, human. I will. 07. I have been doing that already so far. Okay. I thought they were gonna fight me because they were the ones like that I was fighting. Okay. I save again. They're gonna judge me for saving too many times. Oh my god, okay. Simpson approaches meekly. How you doing there? How you doing there, bro? Monster is too sensitive to fight. Just gonna stay here. Zero XP and 0 gold. Just get me out of here. Oh my god. Okay, so fall down. Go through here. Yeah. Ring. Hello, this is Toriel. For no reason in particular, which do you prefer? Cinnamon or butterscotch? Oh, biscotch. Biscotch. I have to say cinnamon. Cinnamon is just like really tasty. However, biscotch is really funny. Cinnamon. Oh, I see. Thank you very much. Click. Gee, I hope that wasn't the wrong answer. Okay. Hello, this is Tori. Girl, you could have just stayed on the phone with me. You do not dislike butterscotch, do you? I know what your preference is, but would you turn up your nose if you found it on your plate? Right, I understand. Thank you for being patient, by the way. Click. Aww. I don't know what's going on. What's it say? 3 out of 4 gray rocks recommend you push them. Can I push? Can I? Ooh. Ah! Ha, 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 ha. Ah! No! How you doing? Ah! 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 Okay. Seems reluctant. Okay. Wait, no. X. Can I just... Okay. Cool. Okay. Down to hell I go. What's this say? Please don't step on the leaves. Oh. 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 Okay. Please don't step on the leaves. Okay. Fuck. How you doing, frog? Don't jump on me. Okay. This is working. I guess. Back up we go. Okay. Okay. Can call... Flirt? Flirt? What? Flirt right after call her mom is weird. Just gonna say hello, dialing. This is Toriel. You only wanted to say hello. Well then. Hello. I hope that suffices. Hee hee. Click. Okay. You can do both. I don't think I want to. I don't know what's going on with this. Down to hell I go. Oh my god. It's fine. It's fine. What the fuck are you? Mold small. Attack 6. Defense 0. Stereotypical. Curvaceously attractive, but no brains. Fucking excuse me? Okay. Scorch. Ah! Oh, let me. Ow! Waits pensively. Flirt? Why is there a flirt option? Of course there is. Like, of course there is. But why? And like, why am I going to choose it? I want to see what happens. You wiggle your hips. Mold small wiggles back. What a meaningful conversation. What the fuck? Ah, leave me alone. Ah, no, leave me alone. Okay. Mold small burbles quietly. Can I run? Yeah, 1 gold. What the fuck is this game? With so much love and affection. I don't know what I'm doing! I just keep falling. Not the frogget. Compliment. Blushes deeply. Ah! Ah! No, leave me alone. Okay. Oh my god. I leave. Be out of here. It says please don't walk on the leaves, and I'm going to respect that and not walk on the leaves. However, we're gonna go right back up and then fall through the floor once again because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. Bro! I mean, it seemed to work well last time. What a meaningful conversation. Ah! Can I leave? Okay. What the fuck am I doing? Like... What the fuck is happening? Any sense that might make fights a little easier? Sure. Bro! Oh! There's two of them! Oh no. Yeah, they burst in tears and runs away. What? Did that frog just say meow? Ah! Okay. You are intimidated by Frogget's raw strength. Only kidding. What? If the name is yellow at the start, you can immediately spare them instead of acting. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Ah! Ah! No! Ah! Okay. Two gold! Let's fucking go. Okay. What the fuck am I doing with this? Ah! No! Fuck! Back up I go. So their name isn't yellow, I guess. So or is it? Wait, no. No, wait. If the name is yellow here, or if the name is yellow here. Undertale will give a lot of clues based off the color of the dialogue. Interesting. So I can just go... Okay, cool. I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna lose it. Back down to hell I go. Leave me alone. Fuck! I believe in you, Kier says as I fall immediately through. To say. Didn't you read the sign downstairs? Oh. Well, that seems a bit like... I'm gonna fucking lose it. Do I go this way? Ah! Oh my god. Halfway through your first word, the Whimsun burst into tears. Okay. Easy. Nice. Why is the frog saying meow? Is my only question. Why is... Okay. Compliment. I don't know. I don't know what's happening. I have genuinely no clue what's going on. Not a singular clue. Ah, leave me alone. Wait, no. This is a canon event. I cannot interfere. Well, I got through it. Whoa there, partner. Who said you could push me around? Hmm? So you're asking me to move over. Okay, just for you, pumpkin. Aw. What? Can you go a little bit further? Hmm? You want me to move some more? Alrighty, how's this? Well, no. Hmm? That was the wrong direction? Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, thank you. You little shit. Move back. You wanted me to stay there? You're giving me a real workout. Okay. Oh my god. Oh, hey! Knowing the mouse might one day leave its hole and get the cheese, it fills you with determination. Huh? What? Ruins mouse hole. Okay. James. This cheese has been here quite a long time. It's stuck to the table. Oh, gross. Okay, bye. Oh, it's EP. It's Epin. Are they gone yet? This ghost keeps saying Z out loud repeatedly, pretending to be asleep. Move it with force? No, don't be fucking rude. Be like, hey, Mr. Ghost person. I was just gonna say the same thing. Do I have to move it with force? I feel like that's kind of rude. Also, it's a ghost. Wouldn't I just phase right through it? Here comes Naps Stablook. Stablook? Nap Stablook? Nap Stablook. Oh. Oh shit! Oh fuck! Nap Stablook, okay. That's pretty good. I like that. It's a good song. I'm a fan. I'm a fan. Definitely a cat jam. Here comes Napstablook. Flirt. Just gonna check him. Napstablook. Attack 10. Defense 10. This monster doesn't seem to have a sense of humor. Oh no. Oh, I'm real funny. Oh god. Oh god. Oh no. Ah! Leave me alone. Okay. Napstablook is staring into the distance. Should I flirt with him? Them? Or try to cheer them up? I kind of want to choose flirt just because I want to know what's going to happen. However, I'm still cat jamming, so who knows? Flirt. I just weigh you down. Really not up to it right now. Sorry. Oh. No, that's fair. Napstablook is wishing they weren't here. Ah. Me fucking too, dude. You gave Napstablook a patient smile. Ah! 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 What the fuck? Ah! Okay. Looks just a little bit better. Aw. I've not tried threat on any of them yet. I don't know how it's gonna work out. However, it's the only one I haven't done so far. I'm a little bit scared, but let's try it. Oh, you can choose the same mode. Okay. A cruel look. Go ahead. Do it. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Ah! Oh no. Leave me alone. Okay. It's a little bit better. Oh no. Cheer him up. Told Napstablook a little joke. Oh, oh god, 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 ow! Napstablook wants to show you something. Let me try. Oh god. Oh. Call it Dapper Bloog. Do you like it? Yes, I do. Ah. Can I flirt with him again? Oh no. I usually come to the ruins because there's nobody around, but today I met somebody nice. Oh, I'm rambling again. I'll get out of your way. Ad break, fuck. Okay. As it should be done, and I'm excited to get back into it. So long as Kira's back and I'm not starting without her. I am listening to not only the game music, but also Spotify. It's a lot for my little ears, I'm not gonna lie. There are a couple of things about this game that I am not that big of a fan of, and one of them is the fact that you can't really like pause or change audio levels of anything. The other one is the fact that it's not WASDA and it's arrow keys. The autism is making me insane about that one. The fact that it's the arrow keys and not WASD. I understand that you don't use your mouse for anything, so I keep clicking or having my hand on the mouse, but I don't need to because the mouse is doing nothing. But that's just how I sit. I sit at my computer with my hand on one hand on the keyboard, one hand on the mouse. That's just how it works. Okay. Sure that I'm all tabbed back in and everything. Are we ready? What's this? What's that? Did you miss it? Spider bake sale. Down and to the right. Come eat food made by spiders, for spiders, and of spiders. Oh! No, thank you. Ribbit, ribbit. Sigh. My friend never listens to me. Whenever I talk, they skip through my words by pressing X. Aww. That's right, pressing X. Well, at least you listen to me. I'm gonna say this with so much love and respect. I am not going to fucking use the X button. Arrow keys all the way over here. Z and X all the way over here. That's not gonna fucking happen. Unless I have to move around the menu. I assume it's because you're supposed to use one hand on the arrow keys and the other one over for Z and X, but I don't use my right hand for movement in video games. I just don't. And I won't be able to move very well if I try to use that hand. So we're gonna continue hitting enter to go through dialogue and everything. Well, at least you listen to me. I do. Hello. Oh, they're just tutorial fellows, okay. I heard using F4 can make you have a full screen. But what does F4 stand for? 4 frogs? I have only seen a maximum of 3 frogs in this room. This is troubling, to say the least, Ribbit. I have heard you are quite merciful for a human. Surely you know by now a monster wears a yellow name when you can spare it. Ah! There's the little helpful information that Kiersey gave to me ahead of time. Use the X button when I die a lot and have to listen to the same conversation all over again. Yeah, that's fair. What do you think of that? Very helpful, or it's bad. Thank you. Very helpful. It is rather helpful. Remember, sparing is just saying you won't fight. Maybe one day you'll have to do it even if their name isn't yellow. Oh. Well, that sounds foreboding. No! What the fuck are you? Vegetoid came out of the earth. Wait, no. Act. Check. Dinner. What does dinner mean? Vegetoid, attack 6, defense 6, serving size 1 monster. Not monitored by the USDA. Fresh morning taste. Ah! Ah! Okay. I probably should have saved and gotten my health back. Vegetoid is here for your health. What does dinner mean? Devour! Check, talk, dinner, devour. I feel like 2 of these are normal options, and 2 of these... Dinner, okay. You pat your stomach. Vegetoid offers a healthy meal. Eat your greens. Oh god, oh god. Ah, wait, no, wait, no. I think I did that wrong. Wait, okay, their name is yellow, right? So that means that I can spare 4 gold. Let's go. I'm so close to death. The green veggie he gives actually gives you XP. It's fun. Oh, okay. See, I saw the green one and I wondered if it was like supposed to like give you health back or something. You have to actually, you know, well, my brain was in avoid all things mode, and then I saw a green one and I was like, wow. Spider bake sale. All proceeds go to real spiders. You know what? I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm fine. Oh fuck. McGosp crawled up close. Okay, so if the mold small's name is yellow but the other one isn't, what happens if I just do mercy? Let's check. Attack 7, defense 5. It seems evil, but it's just with the wrong crowd. Not the sexy wiggle. What? Hello? The aroma of lime gelatin wafts through. What the fuck? What the fuck is happening? La, just be yourself. What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't like it. Gasp doesn't have a care in the world. Oh, okay. There. 0 XP and 2 gold. I'm getting no XP. Is that a problem? Ring. Hello? I just realized that it has been a while since I have cleaned up. I was not expecting to have company so soon. There are probably a lot of things lying about here and there. You can pick them up, but do not carry more than you need. Someday you might see something you really like. You will want to leave room in your pockets for that. Click. Okay. Okay. What's this say? There is just one switch. Oh, fuck. Inventory man. What? Mike Wazowski? The fuck are you doing here? Don't pick on. Pick on. Let's check on. Looks. Attack 6. Defense 6. Don't pick on him. Family name, Eyewalker. Please don't pick on me. Okay. Looks is staring right through you. You know, it's telling me not to pick on him. But but it could be kind of funny to find out what happens. Don't pick on him. What if I wanted to? What if I wanted to see what would happen? Okay. Finally, someone gets it. Oh god. Oh god. Ah! 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 Looks gnashes its teeth. Oh, I can. There. 5 gold. Let's go. Okay, so there's those things. Let's go on down to hell and see what's going on. Ah, I see. I see. Ah! Okay. Okay. Gonna spare. Me and me is the best. What the fuck are you doing? I don't understand what's going on. Okay, so yeah. Spare! Okay. 2 gold! I still haven't gotten, like, any XP. Okay. So, what did that sign say? Mike was out. Thank you for clipping that. There's just one switch. Oh, okay. So there is just one switch. Fuck! Mike Wazowski again! Don't pick on him. Finally, someone gets it. Ah! 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 No! Okay. So if you pick on him, does he then not make it so that you can spare him? 5 gold. Okay, that's good. What is this? It's a switch. Press it? No, not yet. I don't know what's going on. The far door is not an exit. It simply marks a rotation in perspective. Fuck. You guys again. Nothing like alone time. Oh. I don't know what that does. So I should be able to spare. Yes? Okay. So what is this? Where are we going? It's like one of those little vent things. Ah, fuck ya. Mike Wazowski! ×3. God. Oh, these are slightly different. Oh, God. Okay. Gazing at me. Okay. What's this way? There are levers everywhere. What is this? If you can read this, press the blue switch. Fucking leave me alone! Dinner. Vegetoid offers a healthy meal. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Ah, no! No! What does this devour mean? I have to find out what it means. Tried to eat Vegetoid, but it wasn't weakened enough. Oh. Well, that's awkward. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Oh, God. Oh, God. Plants can't talk, dummy. Hey! Don't be fucking mean. No! I'm gonna fucking die. I am gonna die doing this. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, I got something. Oh fuck. Okay. Okay. Spare one of them. Part of a complete breakfast. You cannot give up just yet. Mike, stay determined. Well, I don't remember what I did last. I think I talked to the ghost and then I saved because I was scared I was gonna die. Ring. Hello? I just realized that it has been a while since I've cleaned up. Okay, we've already said this. Inventory management below the... Okay. So there's only one. I believe it's this one. Right. The fact that I just managed to just drop into the correct one is very funny. Completely unplanned. Okay. Don't pick on him. Ah! Ah, fuck! I did that to myself. I deliberately ran into that one. Okay, so this says, bar door is not an exit. It simply marks the rotation in perspective. But this says, if you can read this, press the blue switch. Oh, fuck. Looks and Code decided to pick on me. Oh man. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Oh god. Okay. 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 Ah! No. Fuck. I don't care. Oh god. Oh god. I don't know what to do. Ah! There's too much happening. Okay. That was a lot to happen at once. Okay. Okay. X or Z. Oh, is it? You have to hit enter and... Oh, God. This game is This game's controls are absolutely atrocious. Oh my fucking God. I'm going back and saving again, because I'm tired of going through this. Okay. You again! Leave me alone! Oh, God. No, not item. Okay. one, the sign says to use the blue one. Nothing happened. Okay. You can read this. Press the blue switch. What did I just get hit by? Hello? Jesus. Okay. Having like 3 enemies in one was a bit... It's a bit much. What is this? The far door is not an exit, simply marks a rotation in perspective. We have blue, like yellow. The constant interactions with monsters is... interesting. The blue, we have blue, yellow, and orange side pillars. This one doesn't have a switch. Or does it? Yeah, there we go. Seems evil, but it's just with the wrong crowd. So what does that... Does that mean I have to take out the other person first? Fights are on a step timer. I believe the more you... Oh my god. Also, hi Tay, hi Talon. I love you both. Thank you for being here. I hope you are doing well. Do they not understand that I shuffle about trying to figure out puzzles all the time? So, I guess... Not monitored by the USDA. Obey the Overmind. Ah! Talon, please don't judge me. I've already died a couple of times. However, in my defense... There were 3 enemies all at once, and I didn't know what to do. Thank you for looking, though. I appreciate it. It's always very, very good to see you around. Talk? Question mark? Plants can't talk. Okay. Dinner? Okay. Smells like steamed carrots and peas. Okay. I don't know what that does exactly. Okay, so I can spare. Okay. Okay. I got through them. Okay. Play this game better off stream, but I die like no tomorrow. Okay. I'm struggling just a bit. Oh god. What does this say? You can read this. Press the red switch. You telling me that that color is supposed to be red? That looks more like an orange. Mike Wazowski! Don't pick on him. Oh, I probably should have gone back to Keel, honestly. Oh god, just like that. Okay, question. Can I just flee? Does that do something bad? You can certainly try. That sounds bad. I'm gonna fucking die again. Okay. And he do a little dance, right? Okay. You can certainly try is quite an answer. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. I got this. Don't pick on. Okay. Okay. It's fine. It's fine. I love backtracking and saving. But I don't know when the next save point is coming up ahead of me, so... Crawled up close. Okay. Not flirting with the gelatin. Okay. The fact that this is banking on me actually having a brain and remembering how to go against each of these is not good. Because I don't have a brain. The switch. Press it. Yes? Okay. Oh, fuck. Wiggle, wiggle. Ah, Mike Wazowski. Ah! Fuck. Okay. You can read this. Press the green switch. Mike Wazowski again! It's fine. We got this. Okay. Stop staring at me! Okay, so, like... I don't know which one is which. Hear a clicking sound. Yeah! Randomly chosen... Oh. Oh. Oh dear, that took longer than I thought it would. How did you get here, my child? Are you hurt? There. I only died a couple of times. I only died a few times. It's fine. There. I will heal you. I should not have left you alone for so long. It was irresponsible to try to surprise you like this. Well, I suppose I cannot hide it any longer. Come, small one. We're going. I only died a few... Hey! Safe spot. Thank fucking God. Seeing such a cute, tidy house in the ruins gives you determination. you smell that? Surprise! It is butterscotch cinnamon pie. Aw! I thought we might celebrate your arrival. I want you to have a nice time living here, so I will hold off on snail pie for tonight. Here, I have another surprise for you. Oh. This is it. A room of your own. I hope you like it. Aw. Aw. Is something burning? Make yourself at home. Is she burning the pie? Aww. A box of kids' shoes in a disparity of sizes. An empty photo frame. It's really dusty. Eepa. Sounds delicious. Not the snail pie, the cinnamon butterscotch. It really does. Oh. Found a slice of butterscotch cinnamon pie. Tasty! I think. Did I eat it or did I just put it in my pockets? Look at these cool toys. They don't interest you at all. Oh. Can I interact with things? What's this? Oh, what's that? It's Toriel's diary. Read the circled message. No! I just got here. Maybe let's not. Maybe let's not do that just yet. Room under renovations. Okay. Oh, there's a mirror. Hey, that's me. It's you. Is that just like a picture frame or something? Snoop! I just got here. These books are worn. They must have been read many times. Oh, hello. Can I talk to you? Up already, I see. I want you to know how glad I am to have someone here. There are so many old books I want to share. I want to show you my favorite bug hunting spot. I've also prepared a curriculum for your education. This may come as a surprise to you, but I have always wanted to be a teacher. Actually, perhaps that isn't very surprising. Still, I am glad to have you living here. Oh, did you want something? What is it? Nothing? Or when can I go home? Oh no. Why do I feel like this would hurt feelings? Music changes depending on if the light is on or off. Oh, that's cute. Can I go home? What? This is your home now. Would you like to hear about this book I'm reading? It's called 72 Uses for Snails. How about it? I feel like this is where the way I'm supposed to be going. This is the dialogue that actually is where I'm supposed to be going. However, she's very cute and I don't want to hurt her feelings. Here is an exciting snail fact. Did you know that snails make terrible shoelaces? Interesting. Okay, so bother me if you need anything else. Ah. The size of the pie intimidates you too much for you to eat it. What? Stovetop is very clean. Toriel must use fire magic instead. Inside the cupboard are cookie cutters for gingerbread monsters. There is some white fur stuck in the drain. For some reason, there is a brand name chocolate bar in the fridge. The fire isn't burning hot, just pleasantly warm. You could put your hands inside. What if I didn't though? It's just a history book. Here's a random page. Trapped behind the barrier and fearful of further human attacks, we retreated. Far, far into the earth, we walked until we reached the cavern's end. This was our new home, which we named Home. As great as our king is, he is pretty lousy at names. The ends of the tools have been filed down to make them safer. Okay, let's go snoop. Maybe we snoop. Toriel's diary. Read the circled passage. Do we snoop? I snoop. You read the passage. Why did the skeleton want a friend? Because she was feeling lonely. The rest of the page is filled with jokes of similar caliber. I don't know what I was expecting. It's an encyclopedia of subterranean plants. You open to the middle. Typha, a group of wetland flowering plants with brown oblong seed pods, known more commonly as water sausages. Oh. Ah, fuck it! I pressed it again. Peek inside. Scandalous. It's Toriel's sock drawer. Ah, the cactus. Truly the most dear of plants. Shut the fuck up. Just shh. It's a regular old bucket of snails. Oh. Ew. Oh yeah, the music is different. Cute. Consequences of snooping. Thank you. We're snooping more. Let's go downstairs. What's down here? Ah! I think you should play upstairs instead. Oh. But what if I... It is dangerous to play here. Third time's a charm? It's drafty here. You will catch a cold. Oh. Is she just gonna say different things every time? Okay. What is it? How to exit the ruins. I have to do something. Stay here. Oh. There she goes. Uh. Where'd you go? I assume she went downstairs. Maybe outside. Ah, yes, hello. You wish to know how to return home, do you not? Ahead of us lies the end of the ruins, a one-way exit to the rest of the underground. I am going to destroy it. No one will ever be able to leave again. Now be a good child and go upstairs. No. Every human that falls down here meets the same fate. I have seen it again and again. They come, they leave, they die. You naive child, if you leave the ruins, they, Asgore, will kill you. I am only protecting you. Do you not understand? Go to your room. Do not try to stop me. This is your final warning. Um, I'm scared. I have problems with authority, and like I don't like to do things that people tell me to do. However, I'm scared of hurting this woman's feelings. I know she's probably like, you know, when you really think about it, she's just like trying to control me, and like that's like a whole thing with parents and like people that think that they know better than you, but like uh uh I I don't know what to do. We're going. Want to leave so badly? You are just like the others. There is only one solution to this. Prove yourself. Prove to me you are strong enough to survive. I'm level 1. I got 20 health. I died to a vegetable. Attack 80, defense 80, knows best for you. Oh yeah, really? Ah! 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 Couldn't think of any conversation topics. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Trying to think of something to say again, but fuck. Oh shit. Oh no. Oh no. Acting aloof. Ironically, talking does not seem to be the solution to this situation. Ah! Oh no, I know. I've gotten myself into this problem. Torio prepares a magical attack. Oh no. Wait, no. Wait, no. Wait, no. I've only been talking this whole time. I don't know what to do. Ah. What the fuck is this? I take that I missed. Takes a deep breath. Don't fight. Well, I don't know what else to do except die, apparently. You were preparing a magical attack. How long are you gonna be preparing this attack? Cause ain't nothing happened yet. Conversation you had with one of the froggies. Is it about the name not being yellow? Is that what this is? I'm at 2 health. I don't know what's happening, and I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. Also, hi, Kippy. I love you. I hope you're doing well. I don't know what's going on. She's been preparing that magical attack for like a while. What are you doing? I don't know! Toriel, I say this with so much affection. I don't know what's happening. Attack or run away? What if I didn't? Doing exactly what you're supposed to? Okay, well. What are you proving this way? Fuck if I know! I went to do the attack, but then I thought that it would be a really bad idea. And I was like, that seems like a bad idea. And then the option was over, and I just was like, and then I was just done. And everybody was like, no, don't do that. And I was like, I don't know what else to do. Am I just supposed to just keep trying to spare? Stop looking at me that way. With tears in my eyes and with utter confusion, because that's what I'm doing. Go away. No, you. Aw, she's looking away. Okay. I know you want to go home, but please go upstairs now. I promise I will take good care of you here. I know we do not have much, but we can have a good life here. Ow! Why are you making this so difficult? I don't know! Please go upstairs. Haha. Pathetic, is it not? I cannot save even a single child. No, I understand. You would just be unhappy trapped down here. The ruins are very small once you get used to them. It would not be right for you to grow up in a place like this. My expectations, my loneliness, my fear. For you, my child, I will put them aside. Jesus! do I done with the game, I go in and like do an educational Undertale run where I explain things because I love Undertale so much. It's like me doing the Dragon Age PowerPoint presentation, but it's you talking about Undertale. I feel like we should all feel safe to discuss our special interests. You truly wish to leave the ruins. I will not stop you. However, when you leave, please do not come back. I hope you understand. Aww. Goodbye, my child. Okay. I don't know what's going on. We're coming up on 3 hours. We're probably gonna run into ads here in just a moment. Ah. There's an ant on me, sorry. Not you again! This motherfucker. Clever, very clever. You think you're really smart, don't you? In this world, it's kill or be killed. So you were able to play by your own rules. You spared the life of a single person. Hee hee hee. I bet you feel really great. You didn't kill anybody this time. But what will you do if you meet a relentless killer? You'll die and you'll die and you'll die until you tire of trying. What will you do then? Will you kill out of frustration? Or will you give up entirely on this world and let me inherit the power to control it? I am the prince of this world's future. What the fuck is this flower on? Jesus Christ. Go to Reddit. Don't worry, my little monarch. My plan isn't regicide. This is so much more interesting. Oh, Jesus. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. Go to Reddit. Hey, that's the name of the game. By Toby Fox. I accidentally did a murder when I played because I didn't think I could not fight, and then felt bad and cried a bunch. Yeah. The thing is that I was like, I don't know what else to do. And so then I went to do the attack, but then I was like really thinking about it, and I was like, I don't think that that's something I want to do. But then it like passed, and I like missed the chance, and I was like, I really don't think I would have wanted to do that anyway, even if I knew how to do it. Title card. I'm scared. Fuck off. Oh no. Nope, 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 thank you. Nope, thank you. Nope. I'm good. I am good, thank you. Human. Don't you know how to greet a new pal? Turn around and shake my hand. I don't. That's Bones. The old whoopee cushion in the hand trick. The man himself. That is Bones. It's always funny. Anyways, you're a human, right? That's hilarious. I'm Sans. Sans the skeleton. I've seen... Okay, ads. I'm not muted. That's awkward. Okay. As it should be done. Welcome back. I have seen so much of this guy online. Um but I have retained absolutely zero information except the fact that he is a skeleton and he wears like a hoodie and he's a bit of a dork. Okay. I need to move my keyboard back to place. I'm Sans the skeleton. I'm actually supposed to be on watch for humans right now. But, you know, I don't really care about capturing anybody. Now my brother... Are they just named after fonts? How do you even pronounce that? Papyrus? Not my brother, Papyrus. He's a human hunting fanatic. Hey, actually, I think that's him over there. I have an idea. Go through this gate thingy. Yeah, go right through. My bro made the bars too wide to stop anyone. Quick, behind that conveniently shaped lamp. How convenient. Sup, bro? I ask for this. I literally have bro in my name. I can't say anything. You know what's up, brother? It's been 8 days and you still haven't recalibrated your puzzles. You just hang around outside your station. What are you even doing? Staring at this lamp. It's really cool. Do you want to look? No, I don't have time for that. What if a human comes through here? I want to be ready. I will be the one. I must be the one. I will capture a human. Then I, the great will get all the things I utterly deserve. Respect, recognition. I will finally be able to join the Royal Guard. People will ask to be my friend. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. I will bathe in a shower of kisses every morning. Excuse me? Maybe this lamp will help you. Sans, you are not helping, you lazy bones. All you do is sit and boondoggle. Jesus fucking Christ. Oh my god. You get lazier and lazier every day. Hey, take it easy. I've gotten a ton of work done today. A skeleton. Oh, Sans! Come on, you're smiling. I am, and I hate it. Why does someone as great as me have to do so much just to get some recognition? Wow, sounds like you're really working yourself down to the bone. Anyway, we've had a good time playing Undertale today so far. I will never be playing it again. We're done here. I'm sending Kier back her points if she doesn't have them already. Ugh. I will attend to my puzzles. As for your work, put a little more backbone into it. Okay, you can come out now. That face is how I feel. You gotta get going. He might come back. And if he does, you'll have to sit through more of my hilarious jokes. Oh, Jesus Christ. What's going on? What's back here? Did I run the stall? No? Okay. Actually, hey, hate to bother you, but can you do me a favor? I was thinking, my brother's been kind of down lately. He's never seen a human before, and seeing you might just make his day. Don't worry, he's not dangerous. Even if he tries to be. Thanks a million, I'll be up ahead. Okay. Oh hey, save point. The convenience of that lamp still fills you with determination. Okay. My question right now is, do we want to pause here and continue on later this week? Like tomorrow and maybe even Friday. Because it has been about 3 hours. And I don't know when the next, like, good pausing point is going to be. I think that's what we're gonna do. Stream forever. Just like spontaneous 24-hour stream. Um yeah, we did just get to the new section. We met the punny skeletons, which is so great. Love that. Incredible. This time we are actually going to find somebody to raid. It says my connection is unstable again. Okay, so do I just hold exit then since I saved? Okay. Thank you guys for hanging out with me today. This has been a lot of fun. I never know what's going on, especially not with new games. Since I got new wheels on my chair, I can really tell how uneven the floor is. I keep sliding to the right. Oh no. All right, let me see who's on. Oh, Kiki is playing Genshin. I think that might be where we're going. Cuz I do love a good Saurusness stream. Very cozy even though I don't know anything about Genshin. Wait, it's birthday stream. Let's fucking go. Yeah, we're going to go in. We're going to go in and we're going to say we're going to do a happy birthday message. With maybe the party hat or like any kind of hype emote that you guys have. Let's see. I love how I type in hype and there's just 800 million emotes. Okay. So this is what you can say if you have one of my emotes. You can say happy birthday with any other emote that you have, like just the party hat emote or any other hype emote, any of the hype train emotes, anybody else's hype train emote or hype emote that you have that you feel like would fit this situation is cool with me. I know some people can feel a little bit weird if you use someone else's emotes for like anything. I don't really care that much. But we're gonna raid Saurusness. Did I spell that correctly? Yes, I did. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Thank you, Kier, for sponsoring this stream of Undertale. Because I would not have played it otherwise, probably. I would have played it eventually. But it would not be happening right now if it were not for Kiersey insisting very passionately that I play it. I hope you guys have enjoyed me playing it and panicking and not knowing what the fuck is going on. I try to make it entertaining and all of that. But like I always say, join the Discord for more information about what I'm going live and what I'm doing, and like I'll post my schedule in there as well. And if I cancel this stream, like the parts of my computer are here. I'm just waiting for the case in Windows 11. Um, if it gets here and I have to take a day, I have to drop a day of this week to get it all set up, I'm just gonna have to do that, and I'm sorry, but that's gonna be how it is. Anyway, let's go right into Saurusness. It is her birthday and it is very, very fun. Love Kiki, plays a lot of Sims and Genshin and other games like Genshin, Honkai, and Wuthering Waves or whatever it is. I don't know. Wuthering Heights. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. Follow Kiki if you are not already. Love her very much. And